Where's my phone?
Y'all take a walk.
Can I go get it for
me? Wait,
Oh.
if you want one. This is so fun. Something worth leaving. Yes, look at. There was a delay,
Yeah, there's a delay.
but I mean, that's
It's
not
working.
gonna affect.
You're on the one.
Yay! Hey everybody! I don't know who all we have joining us, but this is Boot Camp 1. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Okay, thank you. You're so awesome. Okay, thank you. Come here. Come here. This is Bill Higginson, the greatest tech support and most amazing man on the planet. Woo! Everybody give it up for Bill. Love you. Yeah. Okay.
Clean shade at 10. Hey, good thing of yours.
Okay. We've got a lot to cram in, so I am going to go ahead and get started. And this is a new experiment, so thank you for being a part of it. And hopefully this is supposed to record all of this, so we'll see how it goes. So again, y'all are a part of an experiment, but I was just with new consultants coming in and seasoned consultants that really wanted to sharpen their skills and really tighten things up. I really felt like there was a gap. And so I really had been thinking, man, they need to know this, they need to implement that. And this is everything that you would need to know to really have a successful Mary Kay business. Whether your goal is to be a sales director or you just have financial goals, building a customer base, all of that, these are the things that definitely need to be in place. And so I'm going to start right out. And one of the things that comes in the new kit is this Start Something Beautiful magazine and the DVD. And this is your best friend. This is such excellent information. Get this out. And if you don't have this, you can order it on section 2. This should be a resource that you go back to again and again and again. This is not a one-time read. This is a go back to resource over and over and over again. There's even little tabs that you can kind of label, places that you want to go back to. The excellent resource. So I just wanted to show you that. Also, well, let me start from the very beginning. I've been at this 20 years. And when I started Mary Kay, I did not know how to control my emotions and my attitude. That was just something that I never had really been taught. And when you own your own business, there definitely we need to cultivate a mental toughness that will take you really, really far. That doesn't mean we ignore our emotions or don't feel our emotions, but when we can work from discipline and not emotion, we can take things as absolutely as far as our minds and our hearts can take us. So I did want to start with that. Attitude is everything. And I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier today. It's not about just going, oh, unicorns and rainbows and nothing's wrong. It's about being able to compartmentalize. I gave this gal the example of, she used to work another job. And I said, did you ever have to deal with customers that didn't like you or didn't treat you well? She said, yes. I said, did you ever have to deal with coworkers that didn't like you, didn't treat you well? She said, yes. I said, did you ever have superiors that didn't like you, didn't treat you well? She said, yes. I said, but what did you do? She said, I showed up and I did my job because I needed to make a living. And so when we can, and the great thing about Mary Kay is 90% of the time it is the pink bubble. But you know, we do get the no's. We do get the people that don't, you know, that aren't in the market for what we have to offer. And instead of really taking that in, taking it personally, if we can just learn to say, you know what, that person is not my assignment. And so who is my assignment? And that's where when Mary Kay Ash talked about taking God as our business partner, instead of taking that to heart and focusing on the ones that for whatever reason didn't call back, didn't show up, if we say, okay, and open ourselves up to who is my assignment, who do I need to pour into? You know, I heard it said, and I can't remember, I wish I knew who to give this credit to, but when she had a part, and this is a very top performer in Mary Kay, when she had a party that postponed, she would take that 2-hour time slot and make phone calls until she had 2 bookings and $200 in sales. So that time she was still very productive. So when you carve out time for your Mary Kay, you know, don't just say, well, it postponed and, you know, let me eat ice cream and watch Vampire Diaries or whatever that stuff is. Okay, so our mental toughness is everything. But again, in this conversation that I had with somebody today, it's not just about denying our feelings and only thinking positive. It's about the real power in that is when you can connect that with scripture. That's where the power is. So for instance, Paul tells us to capture every thought. So the very first thing is to say, what is it that I am even thinking about right now? So we go to that scripture to capture every thought and bring it into captivity in Christ Jesus. So we grab a hold of that thought and then we replace it with truth. So let's say we're feeling fearful. Well, we could go to, you know, say, Lord, I'm feeling fearful. It's okay to say, or reach out to your sales director, I'm feeling fearful. But then we could go to where it says, God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So when you replace that negative with the power of a promise in scripture, that's where we will be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And that's life-changing stuff. No matter Mary Kay, otherwise that's going to change your life. Or let's say I'm feeling hopeless right now. I'm feeling like there's not hope. Well, it's okay again to acknowledge our feelings, but then Jeremiah 29:11 says, you know, that there is hope, that God does have a future. It's not to harm you, it's to prosper you. And so that has literally changed my life. So reading Mary Kay's autobiography as a young woman in my early 20s, I bought that stuff hook, line, and sinker, and it has changed my life. And so so that's where hey, come on in, you guys. No, don't apologize. And actually what we're going to do, I'm going to stop right there because we want to introduce Lori to the Mary Kay world. I know you're going to love that. So come here. Come get in here where you're in the little camp. Come on. Yes, be strong. Okay, so this is so exciting because this is say hi to everybody in there because this is, yep, say hi. Eliza Husky and Lori Miss Shalis. Y'all stay right there. And you guys, this is Eliza's second team member, so that's very exciting. And Lori is a web designer and a webmaster, mother of a beautiful family, a woman of faith. They're pumped to have her. So we're gonna present you with your pin. And so when you're running around town, you've got that pin and people are just gonna be attracted to you and it's gonna be amazing. So that's your very first piece of Mary Kay jewelry. If I can get a little bit. And so congratulations, we're so proud that you represent us, and we're going to present you, Ham it up for the camera, yes. The relic in Mary Kay, the stem symbolizes the strength that you're going to gain from building another business as an entrepreneur. The thorns are the obstacles you're going to learn to love to overcome, because when we can problem solve and overcome obstacles, we can take on the world. The leaves are the people you're going to reach out to touch. The green is the money you're going to make, yay. And the smell is the sweet smell of success. And even though you can earn the red, the white, and the black cars, I want to see you like in a pink Cadillac. So that's your pink cars, that pink rose. So congratulations and welcome. Congratulations to Eliza. Yes, so y'all make yourself at home and grab, if y'all want water or coffee, there's water and coffee back there. And make sure that you guys have some notebook and paper.
Yeah.
Okay. So real quickly, we're talking about attitude and soaking in Mary Kay Ash's autobiography and really soaking in the roots of why and how she set up this business and connecting with her heart. When you connect with that, again, it's going to be so meaningful. It's going to mean so much in the traditions of why we do things. I want to quickly talk about the cycle of emotions. So just, you can draw a circle. And the thing about this, a lot of this stuff is just life skills, you guys. I'm sorry, you're kind of squished right there. Are you okay? You're okay. Okay. A lot of this stuff is life skills that has to do with relationships in all areas of our lives. But at the top of the circle is excitement, the excitement phase. And then you go halfway down clockwise, and it's disappointment. You go to the bottom of the circle, and it's cocooning. Then you go back up to 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, I guess I should say that to 9 o'clock is recommitment. And then it's back to excitement. So excitement is at the top. Disappointment is 3. Cocooning is 6. Not right. Am I doing that right? I'm not looking at the clock. Okay. All right. Recommitment. Excitement again. Okay.
And recommitment.
And then back to excitement. Okay. So I want to explain this to you because so much of this is proactive instead of reactive. And if you can kind of know what to expect, like with a consultant, a lot of times you're going to get 2 different reactions from family. You're either going to get just full-blown support, we are pumped, oh my gosh, we want Mary Kay, or you're going to get crickets. Like, really? Why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? And so if you know that ahead of time, it's not going to catch you off guard. If you don't have that support, you'll know, okay, that's not my market, and I will find my market, instead of taking that in. And unfortunately, the beautiful thing about Mary Kay is that it's women supporting each other in just an amazing way. Unfortunately, we don't always experience that in other avenues of life. Usually women are trying to tear each other down. And so sometimes there's that dynamic, and it's okay, release. They're not my assignment. Who is my assignment, right? Okay. So excitement, yay, I started the business, I'm so pumped, and what inevitably happens? A disappointment. Somebody said they were going to buy something and they didn't, or somebody canceled their party, or some kind of disappointment happens. So what naturally starts to happen is that's when we draw back and we do what we call cocooning. And maybe we stop coming to meetings, we don't call our director, we get introverted, and we start becoming very analytical, analyzing to the point of paralysis. And some people, and again, in life, how many of you know people in life that just are excited about whatever, marriage or whatever, disappointment happens, and then they stay stuck in cocooning for a lifetime. So again, these are, I know, scary, these are life skills. And so one of my favorite quotes is by George Bernard Shaw, think once or twice a year. So if you think about that, you just used up one of your times. But my point is, if you can learn to recognize, again, this goes to working from discipline and not emotion. If you learn to recognize, oops, you know what, that disappointed me, that wasn't my favorite. Let me take a minute, and I'm cocooning, I'm drawing back. Let me take that analytical stuff and do it in a positive way instead of a negative way. Okay, so here are some things that you can channel your analyzing in a positive way, because this is never good girl, bad girl, pass or fail, but this is about, we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, and it's time to say, okay, well, what do I need to do to kind of shift here? Okay, So one of the things is you can ask yourself at this point is, how many faces did I do in the last 30 days? How many faces did I actually hold in the last 30 days? You could even take it back and say, how many people did I even ask to do their face in the last 30 days? And some, look, right there might be your answer. Whoops, I got a little grumpy and I wasn't in action. So now I know where my action needs to be. Let's say you did ask, let's say you did hold the faces and still the results weren't there like you really had hoped for. That's where you can say, okay, this is a skills-based business. There's some basic skills that once you get down, certain booking skills, certain appointment holding skills, once those are in place, it's really just a matter of numbers of asking people. So maybe you need to have a conversation with your sales director and say, you know, this is how I'm asking people, or this is how I'm approaching people. Is there any tweaks that I can make? So is there a skill that I need to sharpen? Do I need to go on InTouch and look up booking, or, you know, party presentation, or getting referrals? So so see how this takes the emotion out of it. I'm a terrible person, nobody loves me. You know, no, there's a skill in my business and I need to tighten up. But let's say you made the effort, you held the faces, your skills are pretty decent. Ask yourself, am I operating in my target market? Now, what that means, you know, sometimes we ask people that don't intimidate us. So if we're doing all 16-year-olds, or if we're doing, you know, all people in nursing homes, you know, not that we're hinging on that, or if we're asking people that in other areas of their lives, they don't show a lot of responsibility, we're setting ourselves up for that frustration. You know, ask people that, not the glamour queen necessarily, not the whatever, but people that show that they have a lot of responsibility in other areas of their lives, women that are women of their word. Those are the kind of people that those bookings will hold, and you'll have better, and they're going to lead you to, you know, like attracts like. They're going to lead you to friends that are also women of their word. Does that make sense? So, you know, your target market is usually, I'm going to say 25 to 65. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but those are usually, you know, right in that age range is where people are going to start to really, you know, start wanting to take good care of their skin, look their best, things. And again, are they responsible in other areas of their life? And if they're not, then it's okay to release them and love them. But if you're asking a bunch of people that, you know, don't have a car, don't have a phone, don't have a job, you know what I'm saying? You're going to make yourself crazy, and your results aren't going to be there. Are you with me? Okay. So let's say you've done, and how many people out to, you know, how many faces have I done? Is there a skill that I need to really hone in on, and am I operating in my target market? Once you kind of answer those questions, or reach out to your director and we can work through it, then I came up with this on my own, is the stage called the grind. Okay, it's called the grind. And I was watching a documentary. I rarely watch TV, but I love watching like documentaries, like behind the scenes, famous people that, you know, and I was watching this on the about the NFL. And these guys work. Now, I mean, they make amazing money, but they work so hard. They train. They do things physically that I know would probably kill me if I tried to do. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching this, and a guy had on a t-shirt that said, "Embrace the grind." And I'm like, I love that. Embrace the grind. I love that. And, you know, at first it might seem negative, but what that means is if you push into it and make the efforts, even when you're, you know, unicorns aren't, you know, running through the room, you know, there's times where I don't have anybody going, "Go, Kathy, that was great. Keep going, make that call. You know, you can do it." You know, now I have Eliza in my life, so I try to do it. But there's just times where it's quiet. Maybe they hurt my feelings. You know, maybe I physically just don't feel super good, and I shut my door and hey, I'd love to get together for a facial. Hey, I'd love to get together for a facial. Hey, I'd love to get together for a facial. And I work from discipline and not emotion. And then what happens is when you do that, a result will happen. You'll book a great party. Someone you really were hoping would sit down and talk with you about the business agrees to sit down and listen. You get a great reorder, and all of a sudden we're recommitted and we're back excited again. Does that make sense, you guys? So if you can learn to recognize where you are on that cycle, catch yourself, be proactive, and be take that, kind of channel that energy into a positive analysis, reach up, because you might reach out to your sister consultant, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of what my youth kids that I teach Sunday school to, like the most educated atheist in the world could sit across from me and give me all the scientific reasons why there is no God, and they would never convince me otherwise, because I've experienced his help and his grace and his power in so many different ways at 43 years old. And so it's kind of the same with my Mary Kay. 20 years of Mary Kay, I've had disappointments. I've had times that haven't been my favorite, but I've had such mountaintops and experienced such amazing things that you're not going to bring me down by reaching out to me and saying, you know what, can you really help me here? Can you help me kind of work through this? Where your sister consultant, she's not going to have those broad shoulders yet. See, so you always reach up to Mary. Our national sales director adores us. You can personally reach out to her, and she'll be all over it, you guys. You have people to reach up to. So, whoa, okay, I'm motivated, yay! Okay, so, all right, I'm going to let me see. All right, let me also talk about image and social media etiquette. Image does not mean, here we are in our funny fatigues or whatever tonight, image does not mean always high heels and pantyhose and all of that. We live at the beach, obviously, but it does mean, having a neat, sharp look. Doesn't mean a lot of makeup. It just means a clean, neat, sharp look. And it means, here's a freebie for you, but the Elevation Church has a free app that just has some amazing resources. And he talks about your resting countenance, and sometimes we're so focused, we don't realize it. We're walking around just crabby, you know what I'm saying? Or just, and that just makes, so if you really think about what is my resting facial expression, a lot of times that alone is going to draw people to you. So our image is not being the fanciest dressed person. It's being the friendliest, the most open, having a clean, neat look, having an up-to-date hairstyle, and then social media etiquette is everything, you guys. And I guess I don't know, everybody, it's a mess out there. I know you guys know that. But if you think about it, let's say you were going to go do business with a certain insurance company, okay? And you walked up to get some insurance, and they said, oh my gosh, business is terrible. I don't know. I don't even know if this is something that I want to do anymore. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be involved in the insurance business anymore. And, I had some customers leave, and you see them, they ranted on Facebook like, you know who you are, you did me wrong. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. Would you do business with that person? Of course not. Of course not. But now you own your own business. When you are at Mary Kay, you are a small business owner. And it's not about not pretending not to be yourself, but it is about portraying a professional image that is going to draw people to you. You do have to be careful. Even I'm going to go as far as to say, like, political rants and I'm saying there's nothing wrong with putting inspiration and faith-based things on there. But again, if it is not uplifting, don't post it. And that's just, to me, that's just life skills again. Don't use that as a way to lash out at somebody personally, because the minute you own your own business, people are watching. So that's where Mary Kay Ash, in her autobiography, she talked about, she was a single mom, the washing machine may have broke. She didn't know how she was going to make her mortgage that month, but she supported herself and her children through direct sales. And when she walked through that door to that party and the hostess said, how are you? She said, sometimes she and said, great, how are you? And then turned it on them. how are you doing, and ask the others about themselves, and took the attention off of herself. So important, you guys, social media. And you got, I mean, I feel embarrassed. I don't even need to tell you guys, but you know, sexy pictures, all that, you know, just, you got to class it up. You really, I mean, yeah, I know you're not going to, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just be classy and realize that what you're putting out there, Janice, quit the bathing suit picture. No, I'm just saying that's what's going to make people want to do business with you, or make people not want to do business with you. It's so important, you guys. That is just huge. Okay, and I've mentioned Mary Kay's autobiography several times. You guys, I don't even want to ask people to raise their hands if you've read it or haven't read it. You guys, leaders are readers. And again, whether you want to be a sales director, or whether you just have the vision of growing part-time business with Mary Kay, learn to embrace read. And those of us that either have children, or one day hope to have children, or have grandchildren, this is just, again, my opinion, but they need to see us reading an actual book, in my opinion. And the Mary Kay autobiography is fabulous. If I know we're all busy, put it somewhere where you can read a few pages a day, because I want you to get to know the woman that founded this company. She was amazing. Let me just quickly tell you a story. I heard this story, 20 years of Mary Kay. I've heard a lot of stories, and I had the privilege of seeing Mary Kay speak live many times before she passed away. But at career conference, one of the top nationals told of a time that she was moving up the ranks in her business. I think at the time was like a top director, if I remember. And while she was building her business, her husband was a minister, and he walked away from the ministry, and their marriage was falling apart. And she had her children, and he left the ministry and finally said, I don't love you. It's over. I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be a father, nothing. And so she said that night she was driving across the bridge, and she was literally like fighting the urge to just drive off the bridge. And she thought, at least my kids will have the insurance money, because the husband left her with all the debt, all his student loans, and all their, like, just an ungodly amount of debt. And she said somehow she got across the bridge, went home, and just went to bed and just cried out to God, and said, I've got to know that you're real and that you haven't forsaken me. She said Mary Kay Ash called her and said, God told me to call you and tell you that your life does matter, and you're going to make it through whatever it is you're going through. Okay, this woman, I'd never heard this story before career conference. This woman, she's like, there is no way she could have possibly had known what was going on. And so I share that with you because I want you to understand, you know, God first, family second, career third. That's not just a little cliche or something to make us look like we're good people or whatever. She was a woman of deep faith, and her convictions were very strong and very real. And so when you connect with that, it just gives you such pride in what we represent. So the best way for you guys to get to know her, on your In Touch site, there's videos that you can watch, but there's nothing like reading that autobiography, I think, to really connect with who she was. And then you'll start to understand some of the things in our company. You know, we always say, I mean, tonight we're here in kind of fatigues or whatever we kind of threw together, mishmash, to try to look like fatigues. But we do say, you know, we're facials in your parties. I mean, especially the big company events. You know, and it can be your style. If you need a long flowy skirt, if you need kind of a fun edgy skirt, let it be your style. But she did ask us that because she knew if she started with that standard, that there would be a certain standard of professionalism and femininity that was important to her, that we represented in that way. So those kinds of things, you know, where some people go, what? That's so old fashioned. But if you really listen about how much she cared about us, and all, if you see over the years, all the awards that our company, image awards that our company has earned, again, it fills us with great pride of what we're a part of. Okay, one other thing about all of that is something you'll hear a lot, Mary Kay, is you need to really connect, write down your why, your purpose. Why are you building your Mary Kay business? This is something that can evolve over time. but and it's important to write it down. There's a scripture in the Old Testament. I can't think right this second, but it's write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk, thank you, Aretha. When there's all kind of Harvard studies, all kind of psychology studies done, that when you take the time to physically write something down, that there's power in that. It creates a groove in your brain. It kind of pushes you into the direction of the things that you're writing down. So I really suggest that you write down, what is your why? What are some things, could any of you kind of shout out right now? What would be your why, your purpose? Why do you build your Mary Kay? Does anybody feel bold enough to share?
To meet new people and be able to minister to them.
Good. Meet new people, be able to minister to them. Good.
To raise money to go on a mission trip.
Raise money to go on a mission trip. Awesome. Good.
Just educate the people about skincare and how important it is.
Good. Educate people about skincare and how important it is. Oh, wait till you hear this little cutie pie talk about skincare. Anybody else?
Get out of debt.
Get out of debt. Good.
Oh,
good.
that was
Good.
mine too.
Good. Get out of debt. Okay. Good. So make some money, right? It's okay. Money is good. The Bible says the love of money is evil. Money is not evil. Money is soft and does good things, right? Okay, so money sends missionaries overseas. Money pays bills. Money sends kids to college. Money is good when used in the right way. So really connect with that. And then one of my challenges is to make a vision board. Now this I'm not giving you permission to have creative avoidance. I'm not saying spend the next month making a vision board. I'm saying carve out an hour, get some magazines, get some of your Applause magazines, print some stuff off of In Touch, and make a vision board. Some of you already kind of know the career path and those kinds of things, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Put the Mary Kay cars, the red jacket. Something that I just trashed my house with as a new consultant is 3 + 3 + 3. $300 in sales, 3 selling appointments, and 3 interviews a week. When you do positive affirmations like that, you don't say, I hope to, or I wish I could. You tell, the subconscious mind does not know the difference. You tell it, I sell 300 a week. I hold 3 selling appointments a week. I hold 3 interviews a week. And it's the amazing thing. All of a sudden you're like, I could ask her, I could ask her, I could do this, I could do this. And it comes. It's just the most amazing thing. I have some of my old goal posters that I've had for years, and it's amazing the things to look back and go, oh my gosh, you know, well, okay, I don't have time for funny stories. Anyways, so write down your why and create a vision board. And then, so that's the other step. When you find yourself in that cocooning and that you're analyzing, revisit your why and revisit your vision board and remind yourself, why am I doing this? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to totally shift I'm going to touch on money management, because this is huge, you guys. Stewardship is success, and success is stewardship. And again, it's a biblical principle. When we do well with what we've been given, we will be given more, and we will have abundance. But when we bury the little bit that we have, you know, that can't be blessed. And so, you know, it's easy to go, big whoop, I just sold an eyeliner, you know, I'm not going to get rich off of that. But you know what? If you faithfully steward that customer and that money and that sale, that person's going to come back to you over and over and over again. They're going to refer you to people. I always say follow the trail. You know, the second facial that I did ever in my career, I got together with a girl, and I did the whole spiel, read my little script, squirted the thing, you know, did the whole thing. And she had me write a bunch of stuff down, but she didn't buy anything. The next day she called me and she bought the equivalent of what is our queen set, which is like a $200 set now. I think back then it was probably $150. So I learned a very valuable lesson, that what happens in the moment isn't always the result of the effort. And so, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, it's very important that we understand the difference between an employee mentality and an entrepreneurial mindset. There's one or the other isn't right or wrong. It's just a lot of times how we grew up. And if we grew up in an entrepreneurial home, it's easier for us to embrace, okay, I'm kicking butt right this second. It might show up, or it might show up a couple months from now, but that doesn't mean to let off the gas. And an employee mentality knows, I show up here and I get this amount of money, but that's all you're ever going to get paid again. That's not going to show up 3 months from now. You know, that's all you're ever going to get, which is, again, fine. There's no right or wrong. But if you grew up in an employee mentality, hourly or salary, sometimes it's a challenge to shift into that entrepreneurial mindset. So it is a shift. It's an opening of the possibilities. There's times where I could call for an hour checking on customers and nothing happens, and then all of a sudden a brand new customer will hit my website and order $200. That's not a fluke or a mistake. I was putting the effort in. I just can't sit here and go, I did this and nothing happened. No, I did this and something did happen. It just didn't come from right where I was putting the effort in. So if we can have that mentality, focusing on the effort and knowing that the results will come, consistent effort. If we focus on consistent effort, results will come. But sometimes what a lot of us do is we put a lot of effort in for a couple days. Oh yeah, I'm kicking butt. Okay, well that didn't bring anything. And then we take the next 2 weeks off, and then we get all pumped up, and then we're crabby, and then we get all pumped up again. But I would rather somebody do a little bit every single day than to have this Zoom eek, because then you can't ever get momentum going. It's like at the director meeting with National Sales Director Elaine Williams, she says, you know, you think of priming a pump, which, you know, I don't know, did y'all ever watch Little House on the Prairie? You know what I'm talking about, the big iron pump, okay? You know, you gotta, at first you gotta really just sit there and go like this and nothing's coming out, and you gotta prime it, you gotta prime it, you gotta prime it, you gotta prime it. But pretty soon it loosens up, and now all of a sudden the water's flowing and you don't have to do anything. But a lot of us stop, you know, we break a sweat and we go, that's too hard. You know what I'm saying? Before the water flows, before the results come. So when you're an entrepreneur, if you can keep at it, you know, that's where the momentum comes from. Okay. So it is absolutely imperative to have 2 separate bank accounts so that you can split your money. If for whatever reason you don't do banking, then and we'll go over this in more detail, I know you're brand new, but have 2 separate money bags. If you take in all your sales and throw it in one pot, you're never going to know what's coming and going. You're not going to be able to trace your profit. You're not going to be able to, it's very important to, when you go to place an order, to say, I only have this amount of money to place this order with, so I got to make it count. I have to be strategic in what I order. Where if you're throwing everything into one pot, then you're over ordering, and then you can't trace your profit. And so that's like, don't do that, okay, for lack of a better way of saying it. So it's very important. Your profit account can just simply be your personal checking if you want it to, but then I highly recommend that you have a separate bank account, and I like to do like a separate checking account that has no minimum balance, no fees, and don't even order checks on it, and just get a debit card on it, and that's where you're going to shoot your orders out. But again, you know, it's that whole parable or story of the, you know, prepare the field, you know, they're wanting rain, but the fields aren't prepared or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever, and y'all know what I mean. Get ready. You think, well, I don't have anything to put in it yet. Well, get it ready, and you just might. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's really important to have online banking so that on your or keep a very tight ledger. If you prefer paper, that is totally fine. But that way you can put Mary Kay profits, Mary Kay order money, so you can go back and go, wow, over the last 3 months, I've profited $5. It's all right there. You can see it often. And again, it will discipline you when you go to order, that you'll make it count, and you won't catalog order, which means you don't just go in there and want everything, but you order by supply and demand. You're strategic. What are people really asking for? What are kind of trends? And so I'd rather have 3 beige 1 mineral powders than 3 different colors, if that's the big seller. So that's something that I can help you with, but you want to be really strategic when you order. And I always welcome consultants saying, hey, can I go over my order with you before I send it, just to make sure I'm not over ordering somewhere or there's not something better. I love those kind of phone calls. Okay, so that's an imperative. And then I'm going to send you guys an email, or probably several emails, because it'll be too much stuff to go through in one email. But I'm I'm not a tax expert, but I am an expert on telling you, you got to keep your receipts for everything. Everything, those invoices in your product orders, those the invoice in your kit, if you buy cotton balls, your internet fee you pay, anything to do with your, you know, I bought the webcam today, woo, you know, I mean, anything like that that could be remotely a part of your business, you need to hang on to that. And I'm going to send you what are the different things that are deductions for the tax year. So in a nutshell, what you want to do right this second is to have a file drawer or a file box that has every item. Eliza, I know Eliza, see, like we told you before, she tax stuff. This is where I need to glitter in the air. But you need to have a file for every section, and so that you're just constantly filing those receipts, okay? So I'll send that through, and I'll say, this is the thing that you got to make your files. And this is a little, this is a tip that I really loved. I went to some organizational thing one time, and instead of doing your file tabs diagonally like that, she did them all to the left, and then you alphabetize them. I thought that was, and I loved that. That way I can just go, instead of having to go like this. I don't know. I liked that. Has anybody ever heard that before? Yeah, okay. I love that. So even like, you know, you get your statement for your mortgage, and it has tax information. You immediately throw it in there. That way there's not piles of stuff to where you're freaking out, you know, or you pay rent. You know, you want to keep up with that and all of those things, because a portion of that can become a tax write-off. Even your garbage pickup when you own your own business, your utilities, your cell phone, mileage on your car. If you haven't started to keep up with your mileage today, when you leave here, you know, either carry your date book with you or do something. I'm sure there's an app on your phone, but write down your beginning mileage. And you want to keep up with beginning and ending mileage, because you guys, 52 cents a mile, that's a tax write-off, you guys, and you are an independent contractor, Schedule C 1099. And so the second is keep good record and keep receipts for everything so that you don't miss out, because this is a tax shelter. This helps you at tax time. Okay. All right, the last thing I want to talk about money management is you know, you have your profit account and your reorder account. And so if you love where your store or your inventory is, then you're going to do a 60-40 split. You're making 50%. The company just suggests you set aside that extra 60 because we've got that sales tax and extra supplies and stuff. So you take 40% profit. So let's say you had I better work with numbers that I can not need a calculator, but let's say I just did a $100 facial. $40 in my profit account, $60 in my reorder account. Okay. The smarter thing is not to constantly run to the bank all the time, but let your sales accumulate over the week, and whether they came through on ProPay, whether it was cash, check, whatever, get it all together. 40% in your profit account, 60% in your reorder account. Then when you're ready to place what you have to work with. So what I usually do is I go in there and put my order together, and then I go, okay, what can I trim back? Because I need to stay disciplined and only not overspend, okay? But let's say you don't love where your store is and you want to build it a little bit. Then maybe for 2 months, do like a 70-30 split or an 80-20 split. See, I'm talking numbers and Eliza can't stand it. But you're hanging with me. You look very happy, but it's just, but so again, whatever you take in for the week, take 20% profit, put 80% back in, and kind of build your store. And again, when you order, make sure you're ordering by supply and demand, where you've really watched the trends of what people have been asking for. Don't just catalog order, okay? The other little tidbit on that is, you know, section 1 is product to sell, and section 2 is samples and sales aids, books, and all of that stuff. Your section 2 samples should never be more than 10% of your section wholesale. I know I just lost you. Okay, all right. Your section 2 samples should never be more than 10% of your Section 1 wholesale. So, meaning you place a 200 wholesale order, don't spend more than 20 bucks on Section 2. You know, now there's times where, like, if you're doing cupcakes and catalogs, or you know you're going to have a party, and so you know there's specific things that might get a little out of order. But if you're ordering $100, $150 a Section 2, you need to go, what, you know, because that's going into your profit. Don't, and because here's the thing, sometimes we think, oh, well, let me get what I need for the next 6 months. No, because colors change, formulas change. You don't want to hoard or stockpile that stuff. You want to have just enough for your next few appointments, and then you'll start to learn the rhythms of the things that you want to have more of and the things that you don't really need, okay? You with me on that? That's so important, you guys. Don't hoard that stuff because it changes, it updates. Okay, but having said that, here's a list. And I know this is why I call it boot camp, because it's like bam, 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 but y'all are with me, right? This is why you came, woo, okay. So this is a list, in my opinion, of things that you do need to have a successful party or facial. So I did make a list, so you can kind of use this as a checklist to make sure you have these things. Real cotton balls. Real cotton balls. I like to have real washcloths. Those what you call them, disposable ones that come in your kit. I prefer to use those if they want to change their lipstick or whatever. I just think there's nothing like a warm, real wash. And you can get a stack of those at the dollar store for next to nothing. Headbands. You want to make sure you've got some kind of headbands to help people hold their hair back. Pens. You want to make sure there's nothing worse than when it's like nobody has a pen. Everybody's digging through. The hostess only has colored pencils. You're like, you know, just get a pack of pens and carry them and throw them in your kit. I prefer to have eyeliner samples. I like to have at least black, but you can have black and brown. And probably boot camp 2 will be more actual party procedure, but I do want to speak to this. Your parties and your facials need to be really heavy on romancing and loving on the importance of the skincare, and the color needs to be quick, basic, dash out the door. If you're spending too much time on color, romancing color, you're going to hurt your skincare sales. And no matter if somebody is a glam queen or not, everybody needs good, healthy, pretty skin. So I only have eyeliners because I know if I went some public and I had to take off my eyeliner and I couldn't put eyeliner back on, I would be crabby, which happened to me during spring break. So, so I have them just so that somebody doesn't get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? But I try to make that really quick. And you know, we can get back together for a follow-up appointment. You really do a glamour clinic, but you know, you don't want to be just so heavy on the makeup end of it that that they forget the importance of the skincare, okay? You want to have at least 2 blushes to choose from, and you know, they've pretty much done away with our blush samples, so really we need to have a couple full-size blushes to demo from. I like to have the full-size bronzers to demo from. You know, you could start with a light medium and add a medium dark, and you just be careful never to double dip, and you just load up their cotton ball real good. Sunny Spice is always a really great color. Sparkling Cider. If you want to have something with a little bit more color, maybe Cherry Blossom. Is that getting discontinued?
I'm thinking a couple of those are getting
Okay, well, we can
I'm
do
just saying.
Okay, okay, but there's going to be an update.
Yeah.
But pick a couple. Kind of a neutral one and one with a little bit more pink to it. And again, I love demoing the bronzer, especially this time of year. Eyeshadows, I like to have a variety of eyeshadows. I'm just going to throw out a couple really good basic combinations that are some of my favorites. And again, you basically say, do you want a neutral look or purple? And you know, that's what you get, because if it's too much, they're going to forget about how important the skincare is. My all-time favorite is Crystalline. Remember Crystalline? Chocolate Kiss and French Roast. I love Those color, I'm in love with those colors, and it looks good on the lightest ivory to the darkest bronze. That looks beautiful on anybody that wants a neutral look. You could throw in a sweet plum that you could add to any of those colors to give it a more purpley look if someone wanted something purple. You could throw in a midnight star that would go with any of those colors to if someone preferred blue. And I think it's always fun to have a precious pink to put with the, or not precious pink, ballerina pink to put with the sweet plum if someone really wants that pinky purple look. And again, I know this is an overview. I'm just giving you an idea of what would be good to have for samples. Honey, spice, and spun silk are really great base colors as well. And I guess couple last ones would be good to have: granite and coal. I found myself, I'm loaded back up on coal samples, Monica. I found myself the last 3 appointments that I've done, like, I didn't have any coal and I needed that color. So just those colors alone would give you a good smattering, a good variety to make some different combinations. And again, that's another training for another day. Foundations, in my opinion, and again, I don't want to spend too much time on actual foundation training. Maybe we can go back to this in a minute. But with the, I'm just going to tell you my favorites so that you can, because you do get some tubes in your kit, but whatever of these that you don't have in your kit, I think you should get the little ketchup packets. The little ketchup packets, I believe, are $1 or $1.25. You get 3 matte and 3 luminous of the same color. So, I mean, again, very reasonable. But in my opinion, in the ivories, you want to make sure you have ivory 5 and 6. You want to have beige 1 through 6. So again, if you have the tubes, don't buy the packets. But if you need the packets, fill those in. And then bronze 1 through 6. If you're working with some bronze ladies. And again, if I can go back to that, that may be part of boot camp too, to give you a little bit more detail. But and there's reasons why. Those real light ivories I feel like are too light. There's a couple, like ivory 7 is very, very pink. So I kind of avoid that one, and you know, there you go. And here's the thing with foundations, and I think it was Aretha that I was talking to recently. Some people get really intimidated with, you know, how do I pick the color of foundation for somebody? First of all, I know we've got the CC creams, we've got the cream to powder, we've got mineral powder, we've got, you know, all these different ones. Master matte wear and luminous. Those are the ones you want to master, because if you can figure out what color they are in that, then you can use the conversion chart to tell you what they're going to be in the other. Okay. But the best way to master that is to number 1 through 30 on a piece of paper, and the next 30 people that you either facial or just simply ask them, can I stripe test you? That's how you're going to master it. When they updated these foundations, they put up that challenge. And that is exactly how I learned. Ooh, that's my favorite. Ooh, that's not my favorite. I'd put, you know, Melissa beige 3, you know, so-and-so this, so-and-so that. And so it kind of put a groove in my brain, like, okay, my fair redheaded friend was a blah, blah, blah. And so it gave me a face and a skin tone association with those colors. So that's what makes me go, okay, you're probably of this. Let's start there. So that's how you can really master that. So it might not even be, again, someone you're officially facialing, but like for you, Monica, these facials that we've done, and same with you, Naomi, write 1 through 30 on a piece of paper and go back and go, okay, you know, I can't think of some of their names. Stephanie was a blah, Ellen was a blah, this person was a this, that person was a that, and keep that as a resource to go back to. So again, that way you've got a starting point. And then the other thing is, when you stripe somebody, there's an adjustment period. Like Stephanie was freaking out. You know, well, first of all, she thought she was an ivory. I'm like, you're not an ivory. But, and thank God for, yeah, because Elena's like, you're not an ivory. I'm like, thank you, God, because that's what I wanted to say, and she was just saying it for me. But my point is, when she very first put that beige 6 on, that initial, she's like, this is too dark, this is too dark. And I was like, just roll with me. There's an adjustment period. You got to see what your pH level is going to do with it. Blend it in, blend it in, blend it in, quit hyperventilating, you know, blend it in. You're not an ivory. And then by the time it was done, everybody's like, oh my gosh, that looks so much better than what you had on. That is your color, blah, blah, blah. So just know, stripe, you know, and I like it like right here. Like I want to see it, you know, and I want them to rub it in, and I want to see what it's going to face. And so that's, and look, this isn't brain surgery. You know what I'm saying? Like it still oops, that's too dark. Let's just take your cloth and buff it off and either go up or down from there. It's if your goal is perfection, you will make yourself crazy. It's progress, it's learning, and so you put it on and it's too dark. Whoopsie! Now I know to go lighter. If it's too light, okay, now I know to go darker. There's a little trial and error with it, you guys. So don't be afraid of that. Don't think they're gonna be like, she doesn't know what she's doing. This is too dark. Just go, whoops, that was a little too dark. Let's buff that off, and now we know to go up. You know what I'm saying? It's not. You're not going to scar anybody, okay, right? You're not putting a tattoo on their face, okay? So I think it's important to have mineral powders, and for me to keep it simple, I don't love the half colors. I think the half colors have a funny undertone. So really, if you have a beige 1 and 2, and maybe a bronze 3, 2, 3, and 4, and maybe a beige 2, you know, because people get so tan here, like boating and golfing and all that. You're good. Like that's going to cover a lot of ground. Okay, beige, I'm sorry. I didn't say that right. Ivory 2, beige 1, beige 2.
Beige 1 and 2, and ivory 1.
No,
Ivory 2.
ivory 2, beige 1, beige 2.
And no bronze.
Bronze, if you're working with bronze ladies, I'm going to say bronze 2, 3, and 4 are kind of where people usually fall. That gives you a good range. Translucent.
Yes.
I carry the translucent with me, and I like to have that. It's only good for people that are pretty oily. Like if you put that on someone with really dry skin, they're going to be like, oh, this makes my, you know, fills in my lines and blah, blah, blah. It's only good for, you know, pretty oily skin. But like,
Stacy.
loved it. Yeah. Okay. I like to have the concealers. And again, this is just something you can build yourself up to. I'm not saying go home and purchase all of this, but just make a checklist. And every time you order, throw a couple things on there and build up your supplies. I like to have concealer. I think concealer makes such a difference. And to me, foundation and concealer is part of your skincare. So Ivory 2 and Beige 1, and Bronze 1 and 2. And I think it's really important to have primer, foundation primer, and just demo it on half the face if they will listen when you're telling them that. Because they're like, what? I put it all over. Or then they do foundation on their half too. It's like, no, I didn't say that. You are not listening to me. Okay. And then I like to use lookbooks. You know, when your kid are those little follow along books. I don't love those. I like to have the actual full size lookbooks. Okay. Those are just things that if you have that plus your kit, you'll have everything that you need. You know, and of course you can start to branch out with the botanical line and all of that, but focus right this second on the miracle set, really romancing that miracle set. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Just become a master at that, because that skincare line is amazing. I love Monica's testimony. We're going to have her do a training. We'll probably do a webcast on her, so get ready. All right, I'm going to shift to time management.
Before you shift,
yes.
we're doing part of checklist: cotton balls, washcloth, pet pens, ink pens, eyeliners, 2 blush colors and eyeshadows.
Mhm.
Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Mineral powders, concealers, primer, and lookbooks.
Okay.
Plus what's in your kit. You know, your applicators and all that, but that's already in your kit. This is extra stuff that you want to start building up and being smart. And, you know, don't go to Dick's and buy a wash. You know, go to the dollar store and buy, you know, be smart. And then keep your receipts for any of that, you know. Or think about what you might already have around your house that you can, you know, and a big bag of jumbo real cotton balls is like $1 something, you know. But make sure they're the real ones, because those synthetic ones have little fibers that are yucky. Yeah. Okay, time management. And again, this is a ton. I hope I'm not, and if it's too cold in here, if one of you wants to bump it up, it's just it was warm a second ago. But are you cold? You're good? Okay. This is a lot. I usually don't cram all this in one thing. You're good. I mean, and you've had a background in this, so you're not. Okay. Time management. There's a tool that I'll be emailing you called the weekly plan sheet. The weekly plan sheet. And if you can learn to live by this thing, it will change your life, because it will help you be in the moment. And, you know, have you ever heard that men are waffles, women are spaghetti? You know, because men know how to compartmentalize, like they're doing one thing and that's all they think about. They're doing one thing, but we're like all like are my kids gonna make it? And you know, but I'm this and I'm that. It's just all twisted together in our brain. You know, and then the alerts on our phones are going off, and you know, it's no wonder why we can't focus. But this 11-hour plan that I'm going to talk about in the weekly plan sheet will help you compartmentalize. And again, no matter what your goal is with your business, I mean, would we not all agree we want our businesses to be successful? We want our businesses to be lucrative, whether it's big money, small money, extra money is extra money. Yeah. So what the weekly plan sheet is, and this will be in one of the emails I send, it has the whole week in a bid. And you can do it a couple different ways. Every week you can make a brand new one out, or you can take a pencil and then color code it kind of your ideal week. So some of us have schedules that flux, you know, like if you work retail or whatever. So, you know, it's really whatever's best for your situation. But what you do is you take that weekly plan sheet and you go in and you enter in everything that are your for sure responsibilities. If you work another job, whatever, if your kids have responsibilities, if you serve at your church, you know, you go in and you block all that out. Then you look for where are you going to have your quiet time, your meditation time, your time to step away from everything, whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Learn to step away and just, you know, if there's an inspiration you like to read, or coffee or tea to sip on, a pretty window that you like to look out, learn to quiet your mind and quiet your spirit and just step away from everything. If you can just give yourself those little respites, then you can go back and be stronger. Exercise, you know, I don't care if it's a walk around the neighborhood. I don't care if it's full on working out at the gym or videos, whatever. Yeah. Carve that in, you guys, because when you're an entrepreneur, plus all the different hats that you're wearing, it's so easy to not take care of ourselves. And then next thing you know, you're just running on nothing, no fumes at all. Where are you going to have some fun? Where are you going to have a lunch date with Ann, or a lunch with a girlfriend, or you know, maybe you know, sometimes people like take each kid out by themselves, or you know, fun with you, whatever's fun to you. Yeah. But I mean, it could be take them to the park. It could be, you know, if you like to garden, or if you like to just getting away from these stupid electronic devices and quality time, whether it's by yourself, getting a pedicure, digging up something in your garden, repotting a plant, something that's just refreshing you. So where are you going to do that? Where are you going to make time for meaningful relationships and connections? And then once you fill in all those different things, where are you going to make your business reach outs? And where are you going to hold your business appointments? Okay, so when you plug that in, when you schedule yourself for those things and make it non-negotiable, that because it's so easy when you're an entrepreneur. The greatest thing about what we do is we don't have a boss telling us what to do, but the hardest thing is, I mean, how many of us have pulled up to a job and went and did stuff we would have never done for ourselves, but we did it so we wouldn't get fired? You know what I'm saying? Like, and we embraced the grind and we did it and we made it happen. If we worked like that with discipline in our businesses, it would transform our business. And so this is what's called the 11-hour plan. I'm just going to give it to you in its pure state, and just know that you can adjust it if needed. Okay, you can spend, certainly if your goals are bigger, you can spend more time than this. If your goals are smaller, or you maybe work another full-time job, maybe you need to spend a little less time. But the point is, don't let a day go by that you're not making these reach outs in your business. Don't be all or nothing. I love, you all know I follow Chalene Johnson. I adore her, and she's got some great resources, but she talks about that even she, the great Chalene Johnson, doesn't feel motivated sometimes. And she says, in those times, she says, you know what, just tell yourself, okay, you only have to do this for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, if you're still just totally not feeling it, give yourself permission to stop, whether it's working out, whether it's whatever, for me, cleaning the house, whatever it is, do it for 5 minutes. And 9 times out of 10, what will happen is in the doing, you kind of get pumped and then you keep going. You know what I'm saying? But even if you don't, even after 5 minutes, you're just still as crabby, at least you did something instead of not. And, you guys hear me say all the time, don't, all or nothing mentality will totally sabotage you. If it can't be everything, it's nothing. Well, then you're going to get nothing, because we're all busy women. We all wear lots of hats. And it can't always be all. That's not reality, right? So don't sabotage yourself with all or nothing mentality. And so, okay, here it is. Here's the plan. And I adore this. This has totally changed how I work. 8 free cars later, this is changing the way that I work and changing the results that I'm seeing in my business. Because what I taught before because we're all so many doing so many things, it could be, all right, let me call a customer, load the dishwasher. Let me call a team member prospect, pick up the living room. Let me talk to a unit member and, work out. And so I was constantly like this. And so I thought that was good. I thought that was me being in control of my schedule. But what that was doing is it was total distraction. And I couldn't track what was happening, and it was just all over the place. And from minute to minute, I was like, where should I be focused? I don't know. Should I call a customer? Should I call a unit member? Should I try to book something? What should I do? And so this is why I adore this. And the other cool thing about this is, to the best of your ability, do it for 1 hour straight. If you can't do it for 1 hour straight, do it for 30 minutes straight. Because what happens? I think, oh, I should totally send a Facebook message to so-and-so to book a facial. You get on Facebook, oh, look I have 10 likes. Oh, what Disney princess am I? Let me just quick take the test. And then pretty soon you're like, why did I even get on here? I don't even remember who I was going to send the message to. It is so distracting. But when you compartmentalize your work and say, okay, for 1 hour, I got to do this. Now let me go back a second. I think it's, no matter if you're a computer person or a keep stuff in a whatever device, I think it's so important to have a designated notebook just for your prospects. It can be a 97-cent notebook from Walmart. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you need one place to have, who am I going to reach out to book a selling appointment? Who am I going to reach out to build my team? Because what happens is you got sticky notes here, and people filled out information things, and you don't remember who they were, or you got to go through your phone and find their phone number, and then you're distracted. Oh, I just got a text. Oh, I'll go have lunch with Bill. So this is like imperative for success, to build a specific notebook that has maybe 3 names to a page. And every time someone comes to your heart, like, oh, I should totally, basically front half is booking prospects, second half is team member prospects. And as soon as someone comes to your mind, oh my gosh, I totally need to put them in my notebook. I need to reach out to them, see if they want to do a party or facial. Immediately write their name and number in the notebook.
Okay, revisit that piece when
Okay.
you're going too fast.
Okay, notebook. Front half is booking selling appointment. Front, know what I mean by front half? Okay.
First half.
Oh, okay.
For like, here's the notebook, this, and then put a paper clip in the.
Okay.
This is the first half. This is the second half.
Separate the book. Okay.
Separate the book in half. Good. Then the front half is booking prospects that you want to book for selling appointments, either a facial or a party.
Okay.
The second half is team building, team member prospects, people you want to reach out to and ask them to listen to the business information. And you want to have just 3 names to a page so that you've got each name to where you can write yourself notes. And look, I know some of you might be going, oh, I'm not a detail person. I'm not a detail person. That's why you need this. One of the smartest things you can do as an entrepreneur is get stuff out of your head and on paper. If you're trying to remember all that stuff, there are gonna be so many loose ends left out there. Okay, so name and number, name and number, name and number. Turn the page. Name and number, name and number, name and number. So spend some time thinking about who needs to be in my book. Who do I need to reach out to? Okay. Now, you with me so far? Then, when you carve out time to book, immediately you're going, bam, Eliza. And you write the date. What's the date today? 13th, 4/13/2015. Hey, Eliza, and you use your script, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Hey, Eliza, this is Kathy. Look, I was really thinking about you. I've just started my business with Mary Kay, and I'm really excited. I'm looking for support. One of my very first goals is to hold 15 Practice Makes Perfect facials in the next 2 weeks. And you've always been such a supportive friend. I immediately thought of you. When are you least busy? In let's say the next week or so that we could sneak that in. It's about an hour, totally complimentary. I'd love your opinion. Okay? Let's say she goes, no way, I will not. Say, okay, great. Love you, sweetie. Bye. Okay, cross her off. Okay, so you're going to be crossing people, or let's say, hey, Eliza, this is Kathy with Mary Kay. Look, I have a brand new goal in my business. For the first time, we're working on Pink Cadillac. And because of that, I have a goal of holding 15 faces in the next 2 weeks. And I thought of you. You've always been so supportive. Look, it takes an hour. It's totally complimentary. When are you least busy in the next week and a half that we could get together and sneak in that facial? It'd mean the world to me. Okay, unless she goes, girl, yeah, okay. Now, she didn't have a positive response because the script was different. I'm just saying, okay, so let's say she said, oh, totally. Then you say, but she goes, you know what? I'm going out of town. Call me back next week and we'll pick a time. Great, thank you so much. So then I write, spoke to her on 4/13, call back such and such date, and in my date book I write, I go a week out, call Eliza. She's in my booking notebook, okay? So see, you're giving yourself, otherwise it'd be like, oh, she didn't want to do it at the time, and then blah, 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 loose ends 6 years later. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's say, hey, Janice, I've just started my business with Mary Kay. I'm so excited. My very first goal is to do 5 Practice Makes Perfect faces this week. I thought of you. You're always so supportive. It takes about an hour. It's totally complimentary. When are you least busy that we could sneak that in? Let's just, sure, girl, let's set it up right now. Awesome. So you write a star, you booked her. See what I'm saying? You've got a way to go back, and then when you carve out that time, you're not going, oh, let me see which Disney princess I am for. You go, no, who's first? Who's second? Who's next? She said no. She said call her back. It takes all the emotion out of it. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's okay, because I've got 45 more minutes, and I'm going to see who else I can get to. See what I'm saying? Okay, that's just like so. I just can't tell you. If you will work that, you guys, it will be so great for you. The other thing is, how many of you have a smartphone with a reminders app? reminders? Do you talk on your phone reminders? Or you set up reminders? This has changed my world. This is Shalene Johnson stuff. Where as soon as somebody comes to my mind, but let's say I'm out at Target or I'm driving down the road or whatever, I'll pick up my phone and say, create reminder, book facial with Eliza. And so that way it's in my phone to where if I wasn't near my notebook, I can go back. I got it out of my head and put it in my phone. You guys with me?
How does it remind you?
It creates a to-do
Right,
list.
Does it ding you or something?
Well, if
I
you
tried to do that, but it only reminds me if I hit.
Well, if you say, you can say create reminder for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Book facial with Eliza. Then it will, at 4 p.m., it will pop up. Mhm.
Somebody can show me how to use mine.
Yeah, we'll have a little tutorial. If it's cold in here, you guys, somebody titch up that air a little bit. Okay, so are you all with me? This is like imperative stuff. Okay, so here's the 11-hour plan. And I love this because it takes all the guesswork out of what should I be focusing on, and it keeps you from leaving loose ends out there. Monday is 1 hour of booking. Monday is 1 hour of booking. And that's outgoing attempts to book people. Doesn't matter what the results are, it's spending 1 hour reaching out to people to book selling appointments, parties or facials.
Even if you're just leaving a message, right?
Even if you're just leaving a message. And no, I don't leave a message and say, hey, Liza, I'm calling to get together with a Mary Kay facial. I'll say, hey, Liza, this is Kathy. I had something I wanted to run by you. Give me a shout back when you can. Because what you're doing then is creating all these people calling you back. So again, it's all outgoing effort. So when you're booking, don't leave a message saying, I'm trying to book you for a Mary Kay facial. You say, you know, hey, Janice, this is Kathy. Give me a shout back when you can. Okay. Tuesday is booking. Is coaching and pre-profiling. Coaching and pre-profiling. An hour of coaching and pre-profiling. So what? And again, that's going to be part of boot camp too. But you guys are going to have a packet that I'm going to email you or already have emailed you that do everything. But coaching and pre-profiling, you don't ever just book a party and say, great, see you next Wednesday at 7. You say, okay, girl, this is going to be so great. You know what you're going to get for free? You are going to have a 50% off shopping spree of anything you want to get that night, just for having 4 more ladies there who are 18 and older that don't already have a beauty consultant. Can you already are you excited about what you're going to get at half price? Anything you want. That's coaching. This is what you're going to get. Aren't you excited? You know, this is your benefit. Okay. Coaching is also, it's going to help me be really extra prepared if I talk to everybody that's coming ahead of time to find out their skin type, what kind of colors they want to try. So let's go ahead and talk about your guest list. Have you invited them? You know, if you get that list to me, I'll give you a free eyeshadow within 24 hours. So you're coaching them, okay? And then pre-profiling is making those calls. Hey, Janice, this is Kathy with Mary Kay. I'm going to be holding the makeovers at Lori's house Friday night. Just wanted to ask you a couple quick questions about your skin, what kind of colors you like to wear. And those, you can leave messages and say that, hey, just give me a call back at, you know, blah, 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 blah. Or I can quick get the information from you at the beginning of the class or party or facial. It's so important because if those guests are getting the initial invite from the hostess, they're getting that professional touch from you, whether you touch base with them or not. And then you coach your hostess to one more time before the party, reach out and remind everybody, your attendance is going to go way up. But if you're lazy about it, I'm sorry, I'm just going to use that word lazy. I remember National Sales Director Arlene Menard, one of the top women in the company. I was in my early 20s. She said, lazy is ugly. I was like, oh, I don't want to be lazy. Like that freaked me out so bad, right? Okay, so anyways, and look, pre-profiling and coaching per party is maybe 15 minutes worth of phone time. Like, get off of social media and coach and pre-profile. You know, I mean, where will I find the time? Get off of social media. Right? Okay, I mean, I'm just saying. So Tuesday is coaching and pre-profiling. Wednesday is an hour of either reaching out and asking people to listen and, to book those appointments for team building, or following up with people that you've talked to see what their decision is. So for 1 hour. And it might be like if there's a guest event coming up, maybe somebody you've already interviewed that you could say, hey, this great event is coming up. Love for you to be my guest. It's all about, because you guys, team building is sometimes a layering process. Sometimes we talk with them, and then maybe they'll hold a party, then maybe they'll come to a meeting. I mean, it's not always like that. I mean, sometimes you talk to somebody and they make a decision, but just don't be frustrated when everybody isn't like that. Sometimes they need to kind of be exposed to things in layers a little bit and given a little time. And I'll tell you, a lot of times they just need to see that you're not somebody that's just gonna do this for a while and move on to something else. I love looking at people and saying, I've been doing Mary Kay for 20 years. They know I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? So with the more longevity, the better. That you can say, I'm sticking with this. Like, I'll be bringing you your cleanser till the cows come home. They like that. They want to know you're committed to them.
What did you say?
Up with people or
Booking interviews, basically team building reach outs to this isn't holding the appointment. This is booking, attempting to book the appointments, whether it's 3-way phone calls or coffees or whatever, or follow-up. Y'all with me so far? Okay, Thursday is an hour of customer service. And the fun thing about an hour of customer service is that kind of bleeds over. That stuff, booking and team building, all that will come from that. So that's just going through that customer list and saying, hey, I'm just checking on you. Are you okay on your product? And if the new lookbook went out, that's, hey, the new lookbook went out. Do you want to get together and see some of the things? That's just checking in. I'm here for you. I'm committed. Okay. And then Friday is an hour of catch up. So usually it's a booking, but wherever you need to catch up more, if you've got a bunch of parties, you need to do some more coaching, or you don't have enough parties, you need to book or whatever. Okay. So there's 5 hours right there. Then carve out 2 hours for your sales meeting. And the smartest thing you do is bring somebody with you. Next week, we are going to have a dynamic guest speaker. I'll be posting a flyer, but Cadillac Director Elizabeth Viola is coming, and it is going to be phenomenal. You do not want to miss it. Yeah, I know. No, your sales meeting Monday night. So we have an hour of each of those reach outs Monday through Friday. You with me? Okay, it's okay. I don't mind answering questions. And then 2 hours Monday night. Carve out. The meetings aren't mandatory, but the most successful consultants just connect and power up. I mean, it spurs your creativity, just in, their safety in the herd, So, okay, so there's 7 hours. Then, again, this is very minimal, but book 2 parties for the week to hold one, because one's going to move, Book 2 parties within the week, somewhere in the week to hold one. Book 2 facials to hold one. Book 2 interviews to hold one. 2 parties to hold one. 2 facials to hold one. 2 interviews to hold one. So your party is, there's the rest, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's your 11 hours. 5 hours of reach outs, 2 hours sales meeting, 2 hours for a party, hour for a facial, hour for an interview. Okay. Now again, adjust as needed. Don't be all or nothing. If you need to start with 15 minutes a day for those reach outs, that's fine. Just don't not. And it gives you the guide. It's Monday, like what's today? Monday. So tomorrow would be coaching and pre-profiling. Well, let's say you don't have anything to coach and pre-profile yet. Then your time is best spent booking, right? But then Wednesday would be team building reach out. It just gives you and it's hard. I mean, it is a challenge for me to sit for 1 solid hour. I mean, it's been a long time since I've worked for somebody else. And to do anything for 1 hour straight is like, by the end of the 45 minutes, all of a sudden I'm looking through pictures on Facebook and I'm like, what am I doing? I mean, I just, it's a discipline, but man, if you will discipline yourself now and do the things that others won't do now, you'll be able to do for the rest of your life what other people won't be able to do. It's worth it. It's worth it. And we're just not talking about that much time. All of us waste that much time every week. I can guarantee you that. Okay, y'all with me? Management is everything. But again, it's not just to schedule time to work. It's to schedule time to rest, to exercise, to be with your loved ones, to nurture your faith. I mean, all those things, we got to be intentional about that or it won't happen. Let me tell you, this morning I got up and I got my kids to school and I did pile core because I had 30 minutes. And I'm like, I can fit in that pile core before I have to go meet Eliza. And I mean, it was just right there. But I was doing some pile core this morning, let me tell you. All right. Okay. I love pile. Okay. I know this is a lot. That's why we called it boot camp. Okay. So now, Mary Kay always said the 2 keys to success were to have a track to run on and to hitch your wagon to a star. Okay, so hitch your wagon to a star. That's why it's so important to come to these meetings, to go, once a month we take a field trip over to Pensacola. Sometimes there's things over in Mobile, because you want to find somebody in the business that you relate to, that their story, that you connect with them, that you kind of like to follow, that's kind of ahead of where you want to go. And then it becomes, it's like, but I can relate to them. If she did it, I can do it too. So hitch your wagon to a star. But your track to run on is the Star Consultant Program, 1. And I want you to a prayer that I've prayed over the years is, God, I just beg you to not let me think small. Please expand my vision and help me to think so much bigger. And he's answering that prayer. Because I know sometimes you guys look at that Star Consultant poster and you think, oh, 1,800, I mean, that must be 18,000, right? But no. That's where Mary Kay said, take the elephant and you can eat that elephant one bite at a time. But what we do is we look at that and we shut our brain off and then we never even try, right? So the Star Consultant Program is when within a quarter, you place orders that accumulate. The very first level is 1,800 in wholesale orders. Here I'm going to go with numbers, but just be tough. Hang with me. So 1,800 in wholesale orders. Okay. Now, this is something that I'm going to be. Okay. I'm just going to say it. There is no excuse to not learn the basics of InTouch. Look, I have been forced in the 21st century. I get kicking and screaming. The fact that I have a smartphone is a miraculous event. But learn, and you learn by doing. Get into that InTouch site on a full, screen, not because the phone is so limited, but on a full screen where you can start to learn what's what and where it is and all of that. There is invaluable tools in there. And one of the tools is your own, My Business. Under Business Tools, My Business, and then you can look at your reports so you can see exactly where you are for your Star Consultant status. And I can tell you right now, every single person in this room is on target star this quarter. Quarter ends June 15th. Every single person in this room could be a Star Consultant by June 15th. Okay? Isn't that exciting? You're on target. Okay, so what that means, here's the mathematical breakdown, okay? And this is why $300 weeks in retail sales are so crucial. Because if you think of 1,800 over the course of 3 months in wholesale orders, all right? So we're going to break it down. Can you visualize 3 months in a row? Okay? The 4 weeks of the first month, $300 in retail sales, $300 in retail sales, $300 in retail sales, $300 in retail sales. What does that add up to in that month? $1,200 in the retail sales, $600 in your pocket, and you ordered 600. How many of you would be excited to pocket $600 at the end of a calendar, at the end of the month for your Mary Kay? That's $300 weeks. That's 2 parties a week, 3 facials, okay? And even as the reorders start to come, make that new business. Make it a goal to always make that new business. That's not a lot of selling appointments to profit that kind of money at the end of the month. So then when you do it 3 months in a row, what's 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 100 in retail sales. You've ordered 1,800 wholesale, you've pocketed 1,800. How many of you at June 15th would be like pumped like crazy to say, I pocketed $1,800 profit from my Mary Kay business? The formula is $300 weeks. Okay? You can do that. That's why when I was a new consultant, I'd never sold $300 in my life. All over my house was on little posters, 300, 300. It's like athletes, Olympic athletes. If they have to make a certain time, they'll write it on pieces of paper and put it everywhere to tell their subconscious mind, I don't care what your small thinking was or what you think your limits are. People do it all the time, and I'm going to do it too. So when you're a star consultant, you automatically get more referrals from the company. Like if somebody contacts the company or with your website, it comes up more often because you're a person that's serious about your business. I mean, that's just smart for them to choose you for that. You also get to earn a prize, which, I mean, the prizes are fun. My star prizes, I've been 20 years of star prizes. I don't know what the number is on my ladder. It's like 67 or what. I'm always like, this is not my age. So many times I've been a star. But but you do get that gorgeous ladder of success pin from the company. And it's kind of like wearing a report card on your lapel. When you go to the different events and things like that, I'm a star consultant. It's a big deal because it shows consistency, track to run on. It's not a quota. It's running your own race because we're not competing against each other because we can all do it. You're just trying to beat your best, okay? Ruby Star is 2,400 in the quarter. That equals $400 in retail sales a week. Okay, so let's take those 3 months again. 400, 400, 400, 400. 1,600 in retail sales. 800 you've ordered, 800 in your pocket. Basically, you know, I mean, you 60-40, but you get the point. Do that 3 months in a row. That's 4,800 retail, 2,400 in your pocket, 2,400 you've ordered. The price is a little bit bigger. I told you before what she does when I talk about numbers. I know. Okay, price is a little bit bigger. You get a ruby star in your thing, okay? Diamond star. And a $400 week, again, 2 parties. You know? 3 parties maybe. I mean, it's not like you're making yourself crazy. Okay, Diamond Star is 3,000 in wholesale orders for the quarter. Does this help you? Because I know we've talked about that. Okay, and that's that's averaging $500 in retail sales a week. And right now, I just want you to all just go, I sell $500 every week. Just embrace that. You know what I'm saying? Because what you carry around, if you're carrying around lack and unbelief and poverty, a spirit, that is what the vibe you're going to put out there. I mean, I'm not trying to sound voodoo or whatever, but if you're just like, I'm open to abundance, that's why that word unlimited, I just feel like God dropped that word. His resources are unlimited. And then when we got together today and I saw your infinity necklace, I was like, yes, unlimited. So I'm just like, God has unlimited resources. And He loves us and wants to bless us. He's dropped us here with this opportunity. Okay, so that's where your 2,000 in retail sales at the end of the month, 1,000 in the pocket, 1,000 you've ordered. Do that 3 months in a row, 6,000, 3,000 profit, 3,000 you've ordered. Okay, and look right. No, look. I want every single look at me like. Yes, Diamond Star. That's exciting. I embrace Diamond Star status.
That's
Okay.
$500 a week.
Yes, you do. It's so exciting. It's so fun to see. Okay, Emerald is $600 in retail sales every week. Now, when you're tracking this is when you go get the diamond ring when they go across the stage at seminar. This is like National Court of Sales is where it starts. So $600 in retail sales a week. $2,400 at the end of the month. right? Help me do the math. So it's just a lot. 6, 12, 48, I'm sorry, 48, 24, and 24. And then you do that 3 months in a row. Liza's killing me, okay? But it's 3,600 wholesale at the end of the quarter. And that's where that poster is back there. And that's where you can go into my business reports. You can see exactly where you are. And you reach out to me and say, okay, this is where I am. Or if you can't find it, call me and say, where am I, Kathy? And we make a plan. You have until June 15th. You guys can do that. You can do that. Okay? Yes, good girl. I embrace it. Okay. And then Pearl is 4,800. And that's tracking $800 in retail sales a week. Okay? So pick your place, claim your spot. Be it like an Olympic athlete and write all over the place where you're going to be. You get that star brochure. I have some on the counter. You get it in your PLAS magazine. Pick your prize you want to work for, and put that on your vision board. Put that pin, that star pin, because that's a big deal. That's your track to run on. It's not a quota, but it's something to challenge yourself and run your own race. It gives you a mark to hit. Okay. Any questions on the Star Consultant Program? Okay. Now, having said that, I have another track to run on because I want everybody to have a win, and that's called the Princess Queen Diva Program. So no matter what your goal is in Mary Kay, again, write this down, attract number grows. Whatever you are tracking, what you focus on magnifies and multiplies. So whatever you are tracking, it's going to grow. Or if you're in a funk and that's where you're focused, that's going to grow, right? So, but the Princess Queen Diva program is something that I came up with. I was at a director lunch years ago, and I was across from one of the pioneer nationals in our company, Pat Danforth, and everybody else was eating, and I was like, all right, tell me, because she was a $1 million director a decade in a row and then became a national. And so I asked her what was her consistency club for her unit all those years, and because she said there needs to be 3 places so that everybody has a place to win. And so this is one of the things that I'm going to email you. So every single month, if you want to be successful in your business, print out this sheet and start filling in the blanks. Okay, that is a tool for success. The princess level is just 5. It's all 3 of these categories. 5 faces in the month. And that's new to you faces. That's not refacialing customers. You already have 5 new faces. 1 interview, so 1 time that we sit down and share the business information with somebody. It doesn't matter if they sign or not. I want you to be trained and empowered on how to give the business information. That's the point of those appointments. And an accumulative 225 in wholesale orders for the month. And again, this is all on the sheet, so you don't have to retain these details. Now, that might not seem like very much, but again, I would rather have somebody consistently over a year do princess level. At the end of the year, you're going to have 60 customers. We're going to have done 12 interviews, so there's going to be some team members happening, and you will have consistently kept up with your ordering and your retail sales. I love this because it helps you to focus on everything. Some people go, woo, it's fun to order. Let me order a bunch of stuff. Or some people do a bunch of faces when they mismanage the money. Or some people, just want a team build, but then they don't want to build their customer base. This way, you're full circle. You're focusing on all the important aspects of the business to build a strong foundation, okay? So that's the princess level. Everybody can do that. But it takes intentionality. It doesn't just happen. You really got to think about who am I facialing, who are we, you really got to be intentional about it. And if you do the 5 faces, the orders will come. The queen level is 15 faces in the month. Now, that could be 3 parties of 5. It could be 15. It could be 1 at a time. It could be, you guys get the point. 3 interviews, and then an accumulative 425 in wholesale orders. That's kicking it up a notch, but still that's really only a few parties in the month, really, and a few facials. Then the diva level is 30 faces in the month, 10 interviews, and an accumulative 625 in wholesale orders. And again, I'll email out the tracking sheet. Now, the cool thing about this is, again, anytime you're like, I'm totally adrift, what should I focus on? You pick one and start working on filling in the lines. And if you want to earn a car, become a sales director, consistent about 6 months of queen and diva level, that activity will be what you need to get there. Okay, so it takes all the guesswork. There's no guessing in it. It's just what are you willing to do if you want to promote yourself. Okay, so that's another track to run on. Okay, shifting to, I'm going to re-email some of you, but I'm going to email out what's called our party pack. And that is literally, you could literally take it and read it to somebody, and it would tell you everything to say to do a facial or a party from beginning to end. There is no shame in using your notes. Pastors and rabbis and college professors, teachers use notes. Don't think, well, let me just wing it because I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing if I don't even know. Ladies, let me refer to my notes so I make sure that I don't miss anything that I want to make sure you know. Use your notes. Or, you know, if you're brand new, one of the smartest things you can do is say, you know, I'm booking you for a practice makes perfect face. So I'm going to read and squirt, and you're going to smile at me and not make me laugh, right? So, so that party pack, that has the exact script on, you know, when you ask for, it tells you how to ask for referral names, and then there's a page that tells you exactly what to do with those referral names. It tells you exactly what to say to pre-profile. I mean, it's literally like everything. It's everything. It's everything. And here's the thing, and I know we're all in different places, you know, and I'm not telling anybody go buy a computer, buy a printer. If you do not have a computer, a reliable computer situation, figure out a friend or family member that you can go twice a week and set aside a time and say, you know what, there's some really important things for my business that I need to look at and study on Friday at 4. Can I come for an hour, use your computer, and may I print some things off? Not having it is not an excuse. Then figure out a way. Y'all, everybody here is very loved and has friends. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody is going to let, and I mean, at the very least, you can go to the library. But, you know, y'all probably all have a friend that you could go look on some things on InTouch and print a few things off, and it's going to be no problem to them, okay? So one of the most powerful things, and again, I feel like I'm preaching the choir, but I mean, I kind of grew up with a little bit of a victim mentality, kind of a helpless, I'm kind of helpless, I don't know if I can be strong, I don't know if I can do it for myself. And again, as my Mary Kay mentors really were like, take that victim mentality and take that V and turn it into victor. You are a victor, like you are stronger than you think you are. You have the skills and the knowledge to turn this around and figure it out and problem solve, and people believe in you. And you know what I'm saying? And that, I mean, as a woman in my early 20s, I mean, that changed my world. That changed my vision of everything. I'm so glad my children have a different mom because of people that spoke to me like that. So instead of just saying, I can't because I don't have, say, I can, and let me figure out how to make this happen. I mean, write this down. Don't focus on what you don't have and what you can't do. Focus on what you do have and what you can do. Don't focus on what you don't have and what you can't do. Focus on what you do have and what you can do. You may not have a computer and a printer, but you got somebody in your life that loves you enough to let them sit on the computer or go to the library and sit on the computer. We can all figure that out. Okay. And having said that, you know, you can get into InTouch and become a little overwhelmed because it is so much, but I want to tell you something to go. First of all, Product Central, it's imperative for you to pull up the 4 different product lines, skincare lines. If you go to Product Central, search products, you pull up Time Wise Repair, the Miracle Set, Botanicals, and Clear Proof. And there's a little button for each of those that says Product Fact PDF. You click on that Product Fact PDF, and it's going to bring up a couple page document that will tell you everything you need that a customer would need to know to make a buying decision on that line. So literally, I mean, at the very least, Valerie Hernandez, I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but this was the power of this. She pulled up the product fact PDF because someone was asking her questions about skincare for the Ultimate Miracle Set. It's the Miracle Set with microdermabrasion. And she went to her customer and she was like, all right, let me see. And just read it off the thing, sold a $200 set. The woman didn't try it, didn't anything. She just read her the benefits and sold the set.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So if you're just like, I don't have product knowledge, I don't know. We all can read. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So figure out a way to print those product fact PDFs. Don't get in there and get overwhelmed with the mascaras and the blah, all of that. And that's the other thing too, product knowledge wise. I remember as a new consultant just looking over the product catalog and trying to just really go, okay, this product does this. I'm reading the description and trying to retain just a power statement I could say about each product. Even just studying a lookbook, there's product information in here, you guys. There's no excuse. There's not. It's all right there. The resources are right there. Okay. And in that party pack, there is a page that has all the skincare lines and a power statement for each product in that skincare line. It's right there in the party pack. Again, you can read that. But the product fact PDF has the use up rate. It has the key ingredients, the benefits, the claims, order of application. It's all right there. It's all right there. Okay. One other thing I want to say about your parties is you want to learn to word these full circle. And what that means is, I'm also going to send you a sets sheet, okay? You go to place, of course, to love and serve those women, but you want to sell sets, gain bookings and referrals, and think about who is my leader. You want to be kind of like, almost feel like you're what's that guy on not Voice, but the American Idol, you know, you're picking a talent. Yeah, Simon Cowell or whatever. Who's my talent? Who's my talent? You know, for my team. You know, I don't know. I like to think like I'm Nick Saban. You know, looking for my next star quarterback. You know, I'm sorry, Auburn, but okay. It's fun. It's fun to be a talent scout. Okay. So you want to make sure your parties and your facials are full circle. There's all kind of fun ideas to meet people and this and that and the other. But if you learn the skill, I put myself through God's grace, but through DIQ and all of that. When I moved down here 19 years ago, I had 5 people on my team. Okay, 5 people. I moved from Minnesota, 5 people on my team. Now there's 150 in our unit, 8 cars later. And my point of telling you that is I did not do a bunch of gimmicky stuff to meet people. Yes, sometimes I passed out my business card or gave somebody a book, but then I mastered getting referrals and bookings from every appointment, whether it was a facial or a party. If you get referrals from every appointment, you're going to never feel like you have to find people. You're going to, from those people, you're going to meet people. From those people, you're going to meet people. From those people, you're going to meet people. And that's why you treat those customers like gold. You don't ever make them feel like, oh, okay, all you want's an eyeliner, and I have to drive all the way to Fairhope. You know what? I don't know. You'd be like, I'm on it. What do you need? I'm your easy button. I am here to serve you, and they will not forget that. You treat those customers like just gold, right? Okay, and then there's something called the 4-point sharing plan that you want to implement at every appointment. You want to, again, this is connecting with your why. You want to talk about why you began your business and give a passionate little, what we call an I story. You want to quickly give some facts about the company, proudly just share about the company. You want to say the magic words of, you know, it's been said that at every party that there may be a new talent sitting here that might even be the top person ever, that might break all the records in our company. Who do you think she might be? And a lot of times they'll tell you, like, oh, Janice would totally be great, you know what I mean? And then at the end, you always want to choose at least one person that you give some company information to and you share, okay? You either set up a phone call and doing a business talk, or we call it an interview, again, is another training for another day. That's something that you can very easily learn by watching and listening to me give that information. Just like a party has a way to open it, a way to do the middle, and a way to close it, so does a career talk. And that's just a sell. There's nothing magical about it. And the cool thing is, you never go into those appointments, just like you never go into your selling appointments with dollar signs, like, what can I say? It's like, no, how can I serve them? How can I fill a need here? And then it's just fun. I mean, they're going to get it at the drugstore or the department store, so why not from you with your service, right? But you go in there to serve, the sales happen. With the interview, you go in there to share, and they'll either say yes, or they might say no, but they'll say, you know what, but I love what you're doing, and I'm all the more motivated to be a great customer for you and a great source of referrals for you. So it's always a win-win. You don't ever go into an interview going, I'm gonna sign her up. You know, you go in saying, I want to share this, because maybe it'll be her dream come true, or she'll now have a better understanding of what I do, and so she'll be all the more supportive of what I'm doing, and she'll be a great source of referrals for customers and possibly team members, okay? Okay, we're getting close. Here's some other in-touch things to focus on.
What was that 4-point?
The 4-point sharing plan is have a powerful but short I story, little testimony. Share a couple facts about the business, say the little thing that there might be a new talent right here, and then pick one person at the end that you ask to go have coffee or have a three-way or give them some information. Okay, here's some other what to focus on when you go into InTouch. As new consultants, this even tells you how to unpack your kit. Somebody like walks you through unpacking your kit and tells you what's everything in your kit. If you go to business tools, and then starter kit / new consultant tools. Business tools is is the top header, and then go to starter kit / new consultant tools. And I don't care if you're seasoned or new, go watch that. I mean, if you're looking to sharpen your skills, that's right there. And then another great where there's little quizzes and little videos is go to products and then color confident. And that's a whole little tutorial that you can go through, that when you finish the sections, it gives you a little badge that's on your website that you're color confident. When you order business cards to the company, the little badge is on there and stuff. But it's really good basic information that everybody should go through. Okay, all right, I already went through that. There was something that I wanted to make sure I didn't miss. You guys stay connected. Again, some of you aren't big Facebook people or whatever. When something's really important, I try to post it in our unit Facebook group, and I try to send an email. So do yourself a favor. I always, and I'm just saying this, I always know who wasn't paying attention, because I'll get questions about the details that and I know, I mean, we're all guilty of it. But especially if I send something that's real specific about schedule, just be professional and immediately pull out your date book and plug in those times. That way you've got a quick reference to it, and you're on top of it. Again, I'm going to email out these handouts. This is a good resource as well. I mean, there's only so much that I can do. Like, I mean, it's I mean, I appreciate everybody's vote of confidence, but, you know, sometimes people will ask me a question about something, you know, they'll get into, oh, that's the other thing I want to talk about. Good. Thank you, Lord. There's sometimes stuff that I don't know. I mean, I can't be driving down the road and know everything. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you guys are gonna have to reach out and call the company. You know, like you can't log in your InTouch. I don't know why. That is so weird. You need to call. You need to carve out a time where you can sit in front of your computer, call tech support, and get them to tell you. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Because sometimes it's like this thing you have to clear out your cookies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I've done so many three-ways where we sit there and they blah blah blah. You know, so that number is 800-272-9333. 800-272-9333. That is your consultant customer service. They are there to serve you and answer your questions. I'm not saying don't reach out to me about questions, but especially tech stuff, if something's not doing right with your website and stuff like that, I can't always help you with that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So here in our last few minutes, I want to talk about the preferred customer program, and the reason why this is so important, and I'm so happy that you got in on this right now, is because the deadline for this mailing of the summer lookbooks to enroll your people is April 15th. And I know if you're new, you're like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. It used to be 4 times a year. They're now doing 5 times a year, but it's right when this, because I think they want to do an extra Christmas one, you know, is right when the season changes. You can sign up your customers or potential customers. It could be somebody that, you know, is just interested in getting a book for 70 cents a name. That includes the book and postage and the sample. If you were to buy the books, put the postage on it, and buy the samples, it would cost you like $1.85 a person. So this is a big deal. It's a great savings. Company mails out those books with a personalized note from you with your website information. And again, I don't have time to go into all the training. It's not enough just to send the books. Once they hit the mailboxes mid-May, that's when you start dialing and calling. Did you get your book? Did you love it? Is there anything I can be of service? You got to have the follow-up. It makes me crazy when I hear saying, I sent the books and nobody called me. You're the professional. You're the business owner. You're the one that makes the reach outs, okay? So don't miss that. And there's 2 under business tools. There's My Customers. Get real familiar with My Customers. That is imperative. And again, not understanding tech stuff is not a excuse. Thank you. And then there's the Preferred Customer Program. When you enter somebody into My Customers, it automatically drops their contact information into My Customers. It automatically drops it into the Preferred Customer Program. So enter their stuff into My Customers because there's more detail. You can put their product preferences. You can put notes about them. And so I've learned, I've done it the right way and I've done it the wrong way. And the right way is definitely better. Sometimes when you get such a rush of people, sometimes you look and you're like, I don't remember who this is. You know what I'm saying? So after you have a party, go immediately enter that, or if you pick up a new customer, immediately enter them into My Customers. Put yourself some notes about where they work, where they live, product preferences. That way, when you go back, you can follow up and you're totally clear on who they are. I know some of you're just starting, you think, oh my gosh, I'll remember everybody. I barely, you know, a couple few busy months and you're looking at it going, who was that? So you really utilize that because it's so empowering. Again, I could be in California and one of my customers contacts me and says, hey, you know, I wanted that lipstick that I got 6 months ago, and I can pull it right and shoot it out to them. And, you know, it's just, I can be in business no matter where I am. So product preferences, purchases, you can keep track of all of that. Get familiar with My Customers. And then and enroll. I don't care if you enroll 5 people. I don't care if you enroll, you know, 105 people. Don't miss that April 15th deadline. Get familiar with that. That is imperative. I mean, it doesn't matter what your goal is. The last plug is the personal website. If you do not have a personal website, you are hurting your business. I don't have the statistics in front of me right now, but it's on InTouch. The website, you guys, is $35 for the year, which is just ridiculously inexpensive. And then to set up for ProPaid, where you can direct ship, is $38. Now, and I don't mean to say, oh, big deal, blah, blah, blah. Every year consistently when I do my taxes, like $9,000 of my sales comes through my website. That is worth that little fee that's a tax write-off. And I am constantly picking up new people. Anywhere in the United States, your business can boom, but Baldwin County is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States, you guys, and I am constantly picking up new customers that come into our area and search for a beauty consultant. You can put your picture in there, you can put a little description of what you have to offer, plus your contacts that aren't in this area, you can market your website to them, and you can literally build a nationwide business. You can do web parties, where if you've got a little cluster of family or friends, ask somebody to be the hostess, get orders from that, and then that way you've either gained customers, or if it was a really rockin' deal, you can say, you know, hey, Eliza, your party did so good, and we all live out there, you know, would you like for them to be your customers? And that's how you build all over the United States, you guys. Don't, just not being tech savvy is not an excuse. That's right. Get that website, figure it out. It is not, and if you need my help, call me. If you need the company's help, call them. But figure out a way, because social media is a great way to promote that. And Mary Kay has something called the social publisher, where if you set up a business page that's separate from your personal page, you can link that to Mary Kay's social publisher, because I always held back from doing that because I thought, oh my Lord, one more thing to keep up with, you know, my brains might explode. But 2 or 3 times a week on your behalf, the company will post a beautiful marketing product, whatever, with your website link. So that business page, Monica's, is beautiful. Y'all go check out Monica. She did a great job with that. And then if you really get sassy, you can, because kind of the big thing is these makeup tutorials. And if you get real, you know, sassy and you want to even do a little video of doing either, you know, walking somebody through doing their makeup, or you doing your makeup, or your favorite product or whatever. And so you can also post stuff on your business page. But the cool thing about that is as you invite your friends to like your page, and see, like, you could talk about your hair business, and so it would be hand in hand. You know, you could plug your web services on there as well. You know, you could do your put stuff for your jewelry. You know, you could put, nothing makes me happier than fancy Nancy gloss with these coral earrings, or, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, get creative with your cross marketing, and then Mary Kay fills in the holes, so it's not just dead space. You know what I'm saying? And then, because the cool thing about that is, as you invite people to like your page, that's them saying, I want your stuff in my newsfeed. I want to see what you have to offer in my newsfeed. So it's just brilliant marketing. And then if you have an Instagram account in your profile, the only reason I have Instagram is because for my Sunday school class, their middle school and high school wouldn't pay. They're like, what's email? This dinosaur. Yeah. And Facebook, their parents are on Facebook. So, but in my Instagram, but I want to start really utilizing that more. But in my Instagram profile, you can drop the link to your Mary Kay website. And also in your Facebook profile, you can drop a link to your Mary Kay website. So great tools, guys, great tools. And, you know, look, protect your mind and heart. I know some of us shy away from that because of all the negativity and stuff, but you can adjust your news feed so that you see what you want to see, and you can edit if there's negativity or yuckiness or just stuff that bugs you or whatever. You can, well, not even block, like if you don't want to see negative things, but you still want to remain connected with somebody because you love them. So, but that way you're just feeding your mind. And I follow like a lot of fitness people and inspirational people and stuff like that. So when I do, I see more inspiration than negative. You are in control of that. So we're out of time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Preferred customer, if you don't have a website,
Mhm.
you're still encouraged to do.
Oh, totally, because it'll put your phone number and your email on there. Oh, yes. Do not miss that. Do not miss. Do not miss. So I hope this was helpful. Give me just quick little feedback. I mean, it was a lot, but what was maybe the most helpful? I didn't do career path stuff. Well, I guess that'll be boot camp too.
I mean, I loved everything about it, all the information. So it's good to keep us, even if we've heard it before, to hear it again.
Yes.
Keep motivated and going in the
Good.
right direction.
I understand the tracks better. I never
Good.
knew what the tracks really were. I just hear these words and I'm like, oh, that's that.
Star
And it's got a
Consultant
pin.
and Princess Queen Diva and
Now
all
I know
that.
what it really means.
Good, good, good.
I think you may need a boot camp 3, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I probably will.
You're gonna you won't have time to go over all the product details.
Yeah. Not next week, but the week after will be boot camp 2. And I will do specific, I mean, we'll talk before then, but I'll do specific career path. But I will tell you this, if you get get the career path brochure, you should have gotten one in your kit that tells you everything from beauty consultant and national sales director. I'll post that in our unit group. And then we'll do specific party procedure stuff at boot camp 2 as well. Okay? Everybody's
Very helpful.
was it? Yay! Bye, everybody.